everybody. This week we're going to dip our toes into just a little bit of basic calculus. This will help you out if you're taking AP Calculus next year, but we're also going to connect this to something that we learned earlier in the year. So for this question, we have this kind of awkward looking graph, and the question says, what is a reasonable estimate for, and then there's some notation that you've never seen before. So really all we have to do is digest what this notation means, and you'll see that this is actually a really simple question. Well, first, LIM is an abbreviation for the word limit. So this question says, what is the limit? And below that you have x arrow negative 4. That means as x gets close to negative 4, and there's something implied here, not equal to negative 4. We don't care what's happening to x when x equals negative 4. We just care what happens close by. So this says, as x gets close to negative 4, what happens to g of x? So what happens to the function values? What happens to the y values if you pick an x value that gets closer and closer and closer to, in this case, negative 4? Well, let's look at the graph and see, because this is actually an interesting example. So first off, please remember, not equal. So I'm not interested in this sort of odd behavior of the graph when x equals negative 4. We're just interested in what happens nearby. So let's go a little bit to the left of this dotted line. If you look at these y values, it looks like they're getting closer and closer and closer to negative 3. So maybe that's the answer to this question, right? The function values are getting close to negative 3. However, if we go to the left-hand side and you look at the y values here, well, it looks like these y values are getting closer and closer and closer to 2. So maybe that's the answer to this question. As is often the case in math, whenever you're left with this sort of a situation where you have a couple of answers that make sense, well, we say that there's no solution. So this limit does not exist because you're doing something different on the left-hand side as opposed to the right-hand side. Now, if the function was doing the same thing on both sides, then you would just get a single answer. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick intro video for this. You'll find when you work through this week's assignments, whenever you're dealing with limits and you're able to look at nice graphs, they're actually really easy and intuitive. If you are taking AP Calculus next year, you'll find out that limits actually get really, really, really difficult. We're not going there though. Anyway, let me know if you need any help.